If it's heads, you go away. If it's tails, I'll blow your head off. Don't bother, I already know. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Player Display. Today, we're going back into the magical and stupidly stupid world of McFarlane toys. A lot has happened. I mean, first there's the tariff issues, Derry mentioned the T word, and another T word, the frickin' truck. Remember the truck went missing? Yeah, I had a Killing Joke Joker that was on pre-order, which you still haven't been refunded for, by the way, so that's frickin' gone. But in the meantime, chaos aside, I did at least get my hands on the DC Direct, not McFarlane DC Multiverse, because those are two different lines. We'll get to that later. DC Digital, Two-Face, and Dr. Fate. So we do have one figure here, which I'm really, really, really excited about. And we also have Two-Face. But that being said, each of them have really great qualities and also some shortcomings. So we'll get into those. But firstly, let's start off with the boxes, because I've actually never gotten McFarlane Digital figures before. So first things first, what is a McFarlane Digital figure? I'm not even totally sure. As far as I know, they each come with an additional card aside from the usual trading card fare, and you can enter that code into the McFarlane website and get a 3D rendering of the figure, which I think is kind of stupid. First of all, it contributes to the price uptick, so you're basically paying more for virtual goods, like, since when are action figures coming with DLC? And second, these figures don't even come with additional accessories to justify that price point, so yeah, Todd's gotta get his shit together, especially with this last year. Make it a good one, Todd, or we're all gonna be looking down on you when you lose the licensing to Mattel. But anyways, this is what the digital packaging looks like. It is different from the usual DC Multiverse stuff, because as I said, this is DC Direct. What's the difference between Direct and Multiverse? I got no idea. Because all the figures, as far as I've seen, they use the same plastics, same parts, same proportions, same reuse. They, like, recycle the same base bodies and stuff between different characters. So I really don't know why DC Direct exists at all when we have Multiverse or vice versa. Like, just to have one line, you know, and then, like, have the digital subline going along. For those who care about digital. I don't think anyone does. These should have just been really nice collector editions with a whole bunch of extra hands, weapons, conjuring effects for Dr. Fate especially. Let's just focus on the box. So anyways, first of all, here's the one that we got for Two-Face. Of course, we got the blue motif in the back with the Spawn logo showing up, of course being McFarlane's call sign. And down here we got the Bat logo and Two-Face. This is the Silver Age edition. I believe that is correct. He came along a little bit later in Batman's history, and here he is as he appears in the comics, looking really great. Awesome image, but also leaves a lot more to be desired when we look at the figure himself. That's pretty much it for this box, so let's move on to the next one. As you can see, it is largely the same, except for one critical difference. Aside from it obviously saying Dr. Fate, we also have Justice League of America. It should be Justice Society of America, technically, but, you know, whatever. I guess he transitioned to both. He's also under the Silver Age banner, but I feel like he should be Golden Age, because he appeared, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years after Batman's debut, so he's one of the OGs. He's one of the first superheroes who ever was created, so give him proper titling here. And on the back, holy shit, this is a great image. I love this guy so much. I am so much more excited for Fate than for Two-Face, if that wasn't apparent enough. So I'm going to be talking about Fate a lot more, but I'm going to put that aside for now. Let's start off with Two-Face. Speaking of reuse, when it comes to good old Harvey Dent over here, that's exactly the case. He is largely a reuse of the Tommy Lee Jones Two-Face from Batman Forever, from the neck all the way down to the shoes. Although the hands might be varied, and I'm not totally sure, but the head sculpt is totally different, and is the main reason why you'll probably be getting this figure. And I really love it. It is totally cartoony, very comic booky. I think that's what makes it fantastic. I don't want any realism with my comic figures. Give me those fancy colors, those crazy design choices, and I'm a happy camper. On this side, he actually gives off Norman Osborn vibes for some reason. Looking back on that retro-carded Green Goblin Marvel Legends figure, we haven't done Marvel Legends in a long time, but hold on to your hats, because we will be getting back to that very soon. But on this side, of course, we have his namesake being his really ugly face from that splash of acid, looking really great. And then off to the suit, he's Two-Face. If you know Two-Face, you know exactly his whole deal. There are platinum editions of both of these figures. For Two-Face, there is a black and white variant, and then for Dr. Fate, there is black and gold. But in this case, we're going for full comic accuracy as he first debuted in the comics. So we got orange on one side, purple on the other side of his suit. And then last for the vest, we have white and blue. As for the tie, we have like a kind of a light violet and a maroon or something. So that's interesting enough. Down to the hands, we have unpainted wrist joints. I say the word unpainted loosely because you never want painted joints, right? Otherwise, those get stiff and frozen. They're molded in the wrong color, so that's a little bit strange where you're getting up to the hands here. This hand kind of weirds me out because it is accurate to the face flesh tone. Well, maybe it's a little bit lighter, and for that reason, it's sometimes when I'm just looking at the hand and not the face with it, I can't tell whether it's gloved or bare, so that throws me off a tad. But that being said, it's a good hand. I mean, it's a trigger hand. This is not a McFarlane Gold Label exclusive or anything like that, so he does not come with any weapons, which kind of sucks, but I do have a remedy for that that I will show you later on. Then over on this side, we have a green hand holding his trademark coin. If you push in a little bit, you can see it's not like fully engraved, but they're like made out some faint shapes in there to indicate a head and tail side, so it came out close. Would have been nice if they made like one side, like maybe this one since it's a little bit more visible, like have very distinct scratches on it, but oh well, I mean, it's such a minute detail, it's really small, but just the fact that he has it at all is a great thing, so I really do love that hand. Going on down, exact same color coordination with the pants. He must have had an interesting tailor in Gotham to make him this very specific clothing. Then down here, he's got some brown, nice-looking shoes, looking really good. And then again, similar issue with the wrist joints. On the ankles, they are the same color as the clothing, and it just feels a little off. But that's a typical thing that we've come to expect from McFarlane figures. It doesn't bug me a whole ton, but it's there. So if you really want to repaint it, go for it. I won't be doing that. But anyways, that's it. There's no other plastic accessories for this figure, so I'm going to put him back. And what I'm going to do is show you the standard accessories that he does come with, along with some choices that you can add to this figure to supplement him a little bit more. So first thing we have, I don't know why this stand is so freaking greasy, but we have the McFarlane Toys digital stand, which is different from the typical DC Multiverse stand, because instead of just having the DC logo on the bottom, you have this really crazy looking McFarlane Toys digital logo over here. So whereas the Multiverse stands are kind of plain and boring, I find these ones really obnoxious. I mean, firstly, I don't know why it's so greasy. It came out of the box like that. And second, this just has nothing to do with the character. You know who produced the figure, and you know that there's like DLC that comes with the figure, but it has nothing to do with Two-Face. I just find it really stupid and annoying looking. So, yeah, I don't like the stand at all. It serves its purpose, but I don't know. I might just spray paint over them or something like that. I'll think of something creative. But to this guy's credit, he does come with a usual trading card, which is a little bit more different from the multiverse version of these cards that we get. You can see it's got a blue outline, the name Two-Face is down here, and off to the back, you get your usual bio, so it's not that different, but once again, you got McFarlane Toys Digital at the top, so to change it up and show you that this is not a multiverse figure, which, again, is so weird. It doesn't really make sense. Doesn't matter. I don't know. Anyways, that's it. That's all the figure comes with. Oh, yeah, and then also the digital card, which we will talk about later. So for your consideration, I do have two potential accessories that you could give to this guy. He does have a trigger hand, so that's fortunate. So if you have any of the McFarlane weapon packs, you can give him a revolver. I got a stubby one over here. Let's see. I actually haven't put these in yet, but yeah, they go in just like anything else. Looks really good. But if you want to get a little bit more over the top, as you should with any comic-style character, you can give him a friggin' Tommy gun. And it's a little oversized, but you know what? I'm totally good with that. And honestly, the wrist joint's a little bit loosey-goosey, but yeah, once you get it in the sweet spot, he can hold it just fine. Can't hold it with both hands because he doesn't have an open green hand, which would have been fantastic. He could dual-wield it a bit, but that's okay. You could hold up the coin, like maybe just hit the scratch side, then again, mowed down Valentine's Day Massacre style. So, but yeah, all that being said, that's it for accessories. Again, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Just whatever you want to put into this guy after you get him. He doesn't come with much at all. As for articulation, pretty much the same as the Two-Face we saw before, but he's got his tilt in there. It's a dumbbell joint as usual. Got good down, pretty good up. Got your swivels all the way around. Exorcist 360. As for the shoulders, I don't think there's any butterflies in there. Wouldn't be visible anyhow, but they swivel around. Got a bicep cut. They can crunch out to 90, go back in. Double jointed elbows, which go all the way in, so that's good. McFarlane style wrist, so you know the drill there. If there's any articulation in here, I don't think you're going to have any access to that unless you grab both legs and take advantage of the swivel. And I can feel a joint moving right about here, so that's probably what's going on. But that being said, we could try bending him forward. It's a little bit. Going back, holding the knees, actually goes a little further than I expected, so there's something in there, but I'm okay with that. It preserves the consistency of this really nice suit. Down to the legs, you got double-jointed knees, very good, and let's see if there's a swivel up in the thigh. There is not. Oh well. As for the ankles, got back, got your forward, you got your toe joint, there we are. I always forget about those, and then you got just a little bit of rocker. And one thing I forgot to mention, we were talking about how the art on the box kind of makes this figure more disappointing. Same with the card, it's the same art. You'll notice that there's really good checkered pattern over here that they could have put on the purple. There's also a little bit of texture on the tie, that's missing as well. So it's disappointing that not only did they not punch in the details on this figure, but also you recall the figure that they used a space body for previously, which was the Batman Forever Two-Face. And that was one of the most well-painted toys I've ever held in my hand. So they have no excuse to not put this paint on, first of all, a very iconic character, but also one with a very distinct price uptick because of tariffs and because it's a digital figure. Again, doesn't need to be digital at all, it's just for stupid sake. So, anyways, that's it for Two-Face. Let's move on to Dr. Fate. I'll be honest with you, I always love myself some Dr. Fate. I don't know as much as I would like to know about him, but every time I see him, I just get absolutely gaga. I love this retro, classic, unashamedly cheesy design for this character, but I mean, we're talking Golden Age. I know the box is Silver Age. Bullshit. This is a Golden Age character. He's one of the very first comic characters we've ever seen, and man, it's such an interesting design. I mean, you got the helmet of Naboo up top, you got the collar, you got the cape, you got the amulet of Anubis. As you can see, I've been doing some homework on this guy lately, and every time I learn more about him, I like him more. Like, he might be in my top 5 superheroes of all time. I love this guy. He's so cool. And we've seen McFarlane pull off a few Dr. Fates in the past, and, you know, they've always been styled after Injustice, the Black Adam movie. I also have those variants, but they never did a classic until now, and this guy, man, I'm actually kind of glad that they took as long as they did, because now we got the more modern furnishings, right? We got this Blue Beetle base body, which I think works really well for that spandexy look he has. They also weren't doing wire capes for a time, so if they did this guy a little too early, you would have had a plastic one. So yeah, this guy's fantastic, except he has no accessories, but that being said, let's hop into the actual figure himself. Here is the helm of Naboo, the source of most of his powers. There's powers within the cape and the amulet as well. This thing couldn't be better. I mean, unless, of course, you prefer the Platinum Edition, which has golden furnishings instead of yellow. But if you're looking for just straight-up classic, straight from the comics, this guy is awesome looking. One thing I really love, I don't think anyone else has mentioned this, is how good the eyes are. Like, yeah, they point out that they're in white. There's also a really faint black outline going all the way around them, so that way the white of the eyes don't get lost in the flesh tone that's buried in there, which is really interesting. And actually, if you flip the helmet upside down, you'll see there's a whole other head sculpt on the inside. Now, I'm sure if we applied some hot water or some heat and popped the helmet off, you wouldn't see a full face under there. But it's nice that it's two components. That way, the colors don't, like, slop over each other during the painting process or anything. So that results in a very clean presentation. You also got the ears, poking out from the sides, what I meant to say, but close enough. That is one of the many trademarks of the Dr. Fate aesthetic. It's got this mohawk, kind of harkening back to the Spartan look, I suppose, looking really great. Also this sort of edge parting down the center of the helmet, all the way down to the back. A little bit more flare, as you can see, towards the bottom. A little bit more so in more modern interpretations. Going down to the torso, we have this yellow collar over here, and it looks like this is used to mount into place the amulet and the cape. You'll see that the amulet, I think, is actually the same molded piece as a collar, and you can actually flip that up. It's not glued down to the body at all. But then towards the back, you can see that the collar comes around here, and it entrenches into the Blue Beetle body, where it pins down this really beautiful shimmery cape. I like the fact that it's not quite gold. That's better reserved for the Platinum Edition. But here, it's the same yellow, just shimmery. Gives it more of that ethereal effect. And I'm really digging that. This is, yeah, I think easily my favorite magic character in all of comics. Going on to the rest of the suit, you got just slate blue, like sky blue, and I think it's a beautiful contrast with that yellow. Again, very simple, but so effective and striking to the eye. Again, this is a Blue Beetle-based body, highlighted by those trademark upper 2 abs. They have the 2 abs down here in the mid-torso. I personally don't mind that, but if I were the TODDFALL, as people call him for whatever reason, what I would have done is maybe have kind of a cut, like going all the way around here, and have these 2 abs pinned down into this piece or something like that. Then it would just seem a little bit more streamlined, but it doesn't bug me too much, so I'm okay. Down to the arms, what I want to note, if you look really closely right here, you can kind of see there's that little point of plastic kind of coming up from that forearm right there. You'll notice a whole lot of those little plastic bits coming off this figure, contrary to the toothpaste, so I don't know why that is. It might just be the mold they were using. I don't know, but that's easy to fix. But before I clip them off, I just wanted to show you. As for the wrists, this might seem a little familiar if you remember when we reviewed the DC Classics Riddler, who was done in the same body, mind you, because he has loose cuffs on his gloves that are floating, so you can remove them if you remove the hands. As for the hands, that's something I really wanted to talk about. First of all, these are not good hands for Dr. Fate. He is a conjurer. He is a magician. Give him special, like, conjuring wavy hands, especially after we've seen him in Black Adam and in Injustice. You see all the fancy hand gestures that he does, right? Like, they could have gone above and beyond with giving him so many hands here, but no, instead you have just a fist and a grip. And these are, I can prove, recycled from, at least as far as I know, Riddler. That is the exact same fist, and that is one of the exact same grips that came with that figure. So that's the first note. Second note, if you look really, really closely, these hands are not molded in yellow. They are painted very, very heavily. So I don't know why they did that. They could have just molded it in the same color yellow as everything else, but you can see, like, here on the glove portion, it's a much more stark yellow because it's molded and such, but over here it like borders on mustard, right? There's a slight offness to it. So I don't like these hands, and on that note, I'm going to replace them completely. So you can't, well, you can, but I recommend that you don't. You can remove these hands with a little bit of brute force, but they're easier to remove with hot water. So if you want to try swapping them out with something else, use hot water. That being said, a perfect replacement are the Riddler hands. The Riddler has more hands than he even needs. So may I propose to you using hands like this or like this? And I've done the test already. I can't do it now because I don't want to break the wrist pegs, but you can warm these hands up, pop them off, and these hands swap on and off a lot easier, and all you gotta do is paint them. I ordered in some Tamiya yellow. It's gonna take like a little under a week to get here. I'm gonna spray those up. I'm gonna get rid of these hands completely. I'm gonna give him a whole bunch of Riddler hands. Oh, there he goes. Like, he's even got a pointing hand. I mean, these hands exist already. Why do they not just give them to Dr. Fate? That drives me absolutely bonkers. These hands do not suit this character at all. It's strange. Going down to the trademark McFarlane diaper, this is one of those cases where it makes perfect sense. It is comic accurate. Very, very plain. All you have is a little indication of a buckle on behalf of this stark black rectangle. I really like that. It's so minimalistic, but it's exactly accurate to the source material. Legs are totally blue, and that brings us down to boots that we've certainly seen before in other figures. In fact, on the Riddler, and probably on Blue Beetle as well, done in the same yellow as all the other parts that are molded in yellow, aside from the wrists, the hands, excuse me, because those are painted, don't know why. And that's it for the base figure. So as for his other things that come with him, we have another, for some reason, greasy digital stand. I don't know why these have fingerprints all over them. I wash my hands, so it's not me. I'm not in nasty bastard, I promise you. But I don't know why these look so scummy. And that being said, we also have his trading card over here, looking really great. Up to the back, got his bio, if you want to learn a little bit more about this guy. And this guy goes way far back, 1940. That's crazy to me. And he also has a digital card, but funny thing is, because I shuffled the cards together, I don't remember which belongs to who, but they're both virtually identical until, of course, you scratch off that code to punch it into the website. And also you'll notice one has item number 17378, and the other one is 17376. So that would be your distinguisher there, but I forget which is which, so can't help you. But that being said, that's it for accessories, but I can give you a few suggestions. So I do have several things here. Firstly, if you have any Flash figure, then you're probably going to get some, like, energy effects, right? These ones I have here come from I think the Page Puncher's Flash that came out some years ago. A figure I never used. He's just been in a box, but, like, you can have a little fun with those. You can put them over his fists. And these are a nice stark yellow, or a lot more vivid than some of the other lightning effects I've seen. I've even managed to, like, get one, like, kind of shooting out of his hand a little bit, which might take some effort. If it took a little more time, I could make it a little nicer. But yeah, something like that. I was able to do that at one point, so I will certainly try that again later on. But if you want to get a little bit more crazy, I think this is a Figuarts kit, but I have this crazy lightning display that I'll probably give to him as well. So if you don't have hand options, maybe you can get a lightning option here with the whole display and everything. So, you know, just simple little things to beef this guy out and make him look more powerful. You know, and McFarlane could have given you all the parts for that if this guy were a collector's edition or anything. Even the digital figures, the very first digital figures, one of them was like a blue Batman, and he came with a shit ton of hands. Why did they do that here? But anyways, let's look back on this figure on its own merits. Articulation-wise, it's very good. If you've handled any of the Blue Beetle style figures, you pretty much know what to expect. But one of the key differences, of course, will be in the helmet, because of course he's got a whole different head sculpt going on here. Got a little bit of tilt. He's got some down. Not as much back, but if you want him like looking forward and flying, that's okay. Combine it with just a little bit of torso action, and he gets pretty straightforward, so it's not that terrible. And he can swivel around, just like so, which is great. The shoulders have really big and hefty butterfly joints, which are quite loosey-goosey, actually, as you can see right there. So you can go all the way around, you can go out, in, whatever you want, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, crunch those in. Same typical McFarlane joints, although these are the smaller, daintier ones, so be a little more careful with those when you're doing hand swaps, as I mentioned before. You got a dumbbell joint in the mid-torso, so he can do his tilt, forward, back, swivel, whatever it is you want. Combine them together with the waist, go that far back and that far forward, not too bad either way. Full splits, very good. And I also noticed this base body has a really good thigh swivel, so that is going to help you quite a bit. As for the knees, double joints. As for the ankles, you got a swivel. Do we have a swivel on the Two-Face? It was hard to tell. I don't think we did. But it does have your forward. That's your forward. And that's your back. There we are. Toe articulation and your rocker. So, yeah, as much as I could complain about how many things this guy should come with as a base figure, he is awesome. One of my favorites in the line, honestly. Hi there, me again. So, I got my 2 redemption cards, and I figured it technically wouldn't be a complete review if I didn't go ahead and, look at the frickin' DLC that comes with these tangible action figures. So here we are, the McFarlane Toys digital site, where I can enter my different codes. Again, I don't remember which card belonged to which figure, so I'm going to enter the code for one right here, which is really frickin' long. It's not even comfortable. It's actually really annoying. I think I got that right. Okay, let's see. And okay, so there's Two-Face. Can I do anything with it? Alright, it says redeem another. We will redeem another. This has to be Dr. Fate. Give me a minute here. Anyways, here we go. And we've got Dr. Fate Bright. Okay, so that's more because of the standard color palette. So, alright, I redeemed them. Now, the hell am I supposed to do? You can't go back to the home page of any sort. It just says redeem another, and that's it. You can log out. So I can't go back to a virtual library that I can find anyways that shows me each of the codes I punched in. So that is a load of suck. But worse than that, if I try punching in my codes to see those little images again, they no longer work. Your item will be redeemed to the following address. What? What does that even mean? You're receiving to a wallet is because you specified preferred wallet. So did it go to my email? Okay, so now we're at Crossmint. Since when was that part of it? So I got an email notification. It took me to here. Why? Why do I want to be here? Oh, and here I was just thinking this would take only a few seconds of my day, but apparently not. Okay, so now it says check your email for a code, but I ain't getting a code. Oh, I got one. Okay. In fact, I got 3. Alright, sure, why not? I'm just gonna punch this code into here. Okay, so that takes us to this thing called Crossmint, whatever that is. That wasn't even mentioned on the card. And now here are my 2 digital models. Let's start with Dr. Fate, who I care about more. So, here it is, just a still image of Dr. Fate without the joints. Wait, common. Wait, rarity common. Yeah, that's a load of bullshit. Transfer? Transfer to what? Wallet? What? What are you supposed to do with these? Is this the end of the story? You just look at pretty pictures? I could Google this. I don't know, maybe you could 3D print something? This is so stupid. Imported wallets? Connections? What is this site? Okay, well, you know what? This was freaking dumb. I'm never going back there. These mean nothing. You can barely use them for anything. I figured you could get like a 3D model and like do a 360 and that'd be like, okay, that's a neat little novelty. No, you can't even do that. You just get a still image of the action figure that you already got. So, yeah. This is dumb. Dumb. Stupid. I hate these. Here we are at size comparisons, and to my point, the fact that these are digital makes no lick of difference because they scale just fine with any DC Multiverse figure, so I don't get it. I think the whole moniker is really stupid with them being direct or whatever. But anyways, over here we have the DC Classics Riddler, and over here we have the Pierce Brosnan Dr. Fate from Black Adam, which I actually just watched recently, and he was the only thing that I liked about the film. But yeah, all that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and bring in Star Wars The Black Series Quash, if he will cooperate. There he goes. And also, of course, Megamuck! Wow, you got an incredible toy! So you got clairvoyant powers, right? Tell me there's going to be more like you!
You don't want to know.
Alright, time to have a little bit of a dialogue. I think I've iterated most of my thoughts throughout this video thoroughly enough, but, I mean, these figures are kind of important in determining what the legacy of Todd McFarlane's DC Multiverse / DC Direct lines has been. Because, first of all, we learned towards the beginning of the year that he's losing the license, right? The license is going to Mattel. I think there were attempts to get it renewed. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think it's highly unlikely. And that was after McFarlane's legacy of, like, the pre-order nonsense where, like, for me, I'd had to go on my computer at 12 p.m. sharp to be sure I could get the figures I wanted before the bots could get them, or the limited quantities could just be gone forever, right? I almost slept on these two, and I really wanted them, but fortunately they were still in the McFarlane toy store, and I was able to get them there. So I got really lucky. But then you go on like all the social media pages and you see all these people just saying, oh damn it, I missed out on Dr. Fate, or god damn it, Two-Face is sold out, or the Corn Sweat Superman sold out, right? So it's already pretty marred, the legacy of McFarlane. I actually wrapped up my review already, but I wanted to add one last note. I think I've said this in a previous video, I can't remember which, but I want to reiterate it because I don't go on these tirades very often, so I want to be thorough. Going back to that whole pre-order thing, and how I mentioned that I like get on the computer at precisely, not even precisely 12 p.m., like 11:45 or whatever, and I open BBTS, I open the McFarlane store, I open all the stores, right? And then I keep refreshing the pages until the figures I want show up so I can get them. Not to scalp them. I don't scalp. That's not something I do. I believe everyone should have at least one shot at every toy so they can have fun and enjoy themselves. I'm a lucky guy. I'm lucky that I'm in front of a computer pretty much every single day, and I've got the chance to be able to do that. But toys, that shouldn't be such an elitist hobby, right? I mean, you got people who are at the construction site, you got people at schools, you got people like in law enforcement, or I don't know, there's like so many different jobs out there that people do. And like, are not all gonna be in front of a computer. So there's probably, well, yeah, millions of people out there who are in certain positions, like whether it be their age or job or whatever, that's going to prevent them from getting a Dr. Fate or a Two-Face. Like, they know, and there's a dread of being like, oh, it's going to release exactly on this day. We know that from social media, but I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be in my classes. I'm going to be at work, right? And they're just not going to be able to get these figures. Their only chance is to either get lucky in the wild and find them, or pay the damn scalper price, because the bots or the scalpers get them, and that really sucks. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Todd McFarlane has turned this into an elitist hobby. Only the most privileged people can get the figures that they want, and that sucks. Toys should be for everyone. For kids, for adults, for elders, for boy, for girl, for in between. They should be for everybody, no matter what their economy is, no matter what position they're in, no matter what their lifestyle is. They should be able to get the toys they want and be happy. But McFarlane has made that impossible within his line. But then you got like Marvel Legends and NECA, and they're never an issue, right? You're always going to be able to get those figures, no matter where they are. Black Series even, right? They're always available. McFarlane, though, no. Why is this an exception? Why is this so weird? So then come 2025, they're losing the license. They lost a truck. You know that story, so I'm not going to go into that anymore. And now, like, after all that shenanigans, you got to figure, all right, they're going to do anything in their power to prove with their last year that they love the fans. They're going to do whatever they can for them and make people happy. And then also the whole tariff issue, right? I totally forgot to mention even that. But here's the result, right? We got two figures which are admittedly very good, mildly disappointing at worst, being the Two-Face. He's always a really good figure, but you get less for a lot more, being that they are both digital figures. Again, just because there's digital goods that come with them. And they have less stuff with them. So you're paying, like, what, 25% more? Like, I didn't do the math, but you're paying more for these two guys than you typically would be for a standard DC figure. Like, with the whole tariff issue, again, I don't pay attention to economy or the money or anything like that, but I guess I'll let that slide. But you'd think that McFarlane would make up for that and go like, hey, there's some pricing issues going on. We're going to give you some better stuff for the price that we're offering. That's certainly more, but we're going to make you more happy with these figures to the best of our ability. But instead, Todd, he always seems like he stares at a hole and goes, hey, there's a hole. Let's jump in. And he likes making a bad situation worse, is what I'm noticing. Don't get me wrong, I like the products. I just hate the legacy that's surrounding them. I mean, even like Marvel Legends, like yeah, those figures are smaller and cost more, but you're not seeing a whole lot of people complaining about Marvel Legends figures and like getting them on pre-order or whatever. Like, I saw this is kind of a sneak peek to what's coming next. The black suited Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, he dropped. I thought he was going to be infinitely difficult to get. He was on the website like on Big Bad Toy Store forever. He never sold out or anything. I got him on my pile of loot in Big Bad Toy Store, and he's still there. You can still get him. But then you get figures like these, and they disappear in like 5 minutes after they're dropped. Why does that happen? That's so freaking weird. So that's a struggle enough on its own. But then you get like the unholy trinity. Losing the license, truck, and tariffs, right? Oh my, I know. and you know, Todd knows all these issues, and he's not doing anything to improve the situation for the collectors. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say I'm no longer going to collect McFarlane figures. If I like them, I'm going to get them. I'm going to budget wisely, of course. But yeah, at the end of the day, at the end of the year, the license is going to be gone. We're going to look back in this toy line and say, what the fuck happened, right? Just so many issues just adding to the pile. Great product, terrible business practices. I think it's awful. This is going to go down in history for us toy collectors. this was a shit show. Seriously. That being said, I do love these two figures. They both have faults. They should have more stuff. Two-Face should have more printing. Dr. Fate should have more hands. But as they are, they're fine. If they were being sold for the standard $22, I'd be happy enough. But again, with the price uptick being digital and also the tariffs, yeah, I've beat a dead horse already. I mean, this has gone too long. But I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed in McFarlane. When the license is gone, does that mean this channel is going to be over because we've been predominantly reviewing McFarlane figures? Of course not. I'm still going to be getting weird shit to review here. But yeah, then we're going to look back in these videos and go like, damn, what a goddamn mess. What a dumpster fire. This was terrible. Todd, you failed. This was horrible. You can't fix this. You had a chance and you failed. You make nice shit, but you can't polish the turd. I'm sorry. But anyways, that's all I gotta say. Sorry about my rant, but I mean, I'm probably gonna put that in the title of the video anyway, so you're expecting it. That's my honest thoughts. I know it's very black and white, but so many chances to fix things. Never happened. So anyways, all that being said, I do recommend these figures if you could find them in the wild, but yeah, there's going to be a price uptick from now on till the line's gone. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed, then please, as per usual, be sure to like,
Comment,
ring the bell to be notified of our latest arrivals,
and subscribe.
At the end of the day, I guess we know the fate of the McFarlane Multiverse line, and it is doomed. Rock on, and I will see you all later.
Hey you! Yeah, you! Check out this other video you might like in our sister gaming channel. It would be real sweet if you did. Still waiting!